Common sense approach. Eat the fish and spit out the bones. Now, one day I was speaking to one of my Mexican buddies, and we were speaking on the Venezuelans in Chicago. And it's around the time they was giving them funding, heavy funding, and moving them all around the city. And so he was speaking about how he had took his children downtown around Buckingham Fountain, and the Venezuelans was all down there selling merchandise. So I'm like, Neville. I'm like, what kind of merchandise? He like, the type of merchandise you will see at like a carnival or a circus. I'm like, get out of here. He like, I'm telling you, bro. He like, you don't know how long Mexicans been trying to get that location on lock, bro. He like, Buckingham Fountain. He's like, I know at least 40 different Mexican entrepreneurs who was trying to gain access to that location and sell their stuff, and they denied them every time. I'm like, damn. He like, but they gave it to the Venezuelans. So I'm like, I gotta check this out. So a couple days go by, I grab my niece and nephew. Come on, let's go down here. We go down there. I tell you no lie, he told no lie. They had professional setups. I'm talking about they was clean with it. Now they spoke no English, but they had some boards with the items and the price of the items. They had balloons, glow in the dark swords, light up sticks, cotton candy, battery operated fans. I mean, it's all the stuff you would find at a state fair or a county fair or something, at a circus. They had all of that. And even though they ain't know how to speak English, somebody taught them how to exchange that money. Now, most people will see that and I don't know what to go through their mind. But what went the first thing that went through my mind was who introduced them to the vendors? Who gave them access to the vendors? You know, that's one of the ways that this government set the black community back. For decades, they have denied us access to them vendors. You know, it's amazing to me that some people can come from somewhere that you probably never heard of before, can land here in this country, have a store up and running, and have every item that a black American likes or deals with on a regular basis or uses on a regular basis. Every item. We can start, we can have a certain item or anything that becomes trendy to us that we use for whatever. And all the motherfuckers will have that shit in they store by tomorrow. They all know the vendors. It just amazed me. Like they know where to get the baggies from, the little baggies, color bags, scales. They know how to get your stuff that you had, stuff in can. They know how to get the clothes, the shoes. They know all the vendors. They know all the vendors. Where to get the anything our women likes. Our women can start liking something right now, tomorrow. They will all have it in their store the next day. You never see the truck pull up. You don't see no phone number for the vendor. You don't see nothing. And I'm talking about doing them 80s, late 80s, 90s, early 2000s, y'all. Some of y'all are now just gaining access to the vendors. And they still trying to probably overcharge that charging like they charging them. I'm telling you, these people, our government gave them instant access to the vendors. How else you think they put them in the community? They ain't put them in the community with no access to buy the goods. If you're saying y'all put these people upon the black American communities and help them set up businesses in our community and help put our businesses out, how did they do so if the black American person was still showing up to work and they were showing up to work? The black American didn't have the products. Okay? They wasn't giving the black Americans access to none of this. These motherfuckers come over tomorrow, have iPhone. They know connections with Apple, Michael Jordan, Nike. They got connections with the jeans. All the vendors. Whether this stuff is um real or fake. And that just amazed me um that was. And I recognize and I realize, that that's one of the ways that they use to hold back the black community. That denied that that caused so many black Americans who wanted to get into entrepreneurship and start a business in the black community. That made it so hard for them. Because even if they did gain access to the vendors, then the vendors still might have something against them and now want to overcharge and want to play with their stuff. You gain access, but they still don't like you though. But I'll really deal with you. We're gonna charge you a little more, but you'll be the only one of your kind who has it. And then those black Americans, they'll gatekeep it so they can shine over their own. And so you'll run into that situation as well. Come back for part two of this, and I'm gonna explain on what that denying the black community the access to these vendors does to it. This common sense approach. I'm out.